Hello everyone, welcome to Link to the Past, all dungeons. This is a really fun category. It's experiencing kind of a resurgence right now. Categories come and go in their popularity. Typically NMG is definitely the biggest thing happening in this game. But lately a lot of people have been playing all dungeons. And it's a lot of fun. So hopefully it goes well. Can show off how broken this game can be, because this category will be using some major glitches. A bit about the category, because I'm sure most people have questions about all those acronyms at the end of the category name. Those are basically a trio of glitches that are the most powerful glitches in the run, and they allow you to skip massive amounts of content. EG stands for Exploration Glitch. It is a glitch that allows Link to get under the floor. And that's actually really powerful because every room in the game is placed on the same map, so you can just walk between all the rooms in the game. You can actually walk straight to the Triforce room even. The true any percent for this game can... I think the world record is 1 minute and 31 seconds or something. Like, and that's because of Exploration Glitch. Like, that's how powerful it is. It's pretty insane. DG stands for door glitches. Those are glitches you use indoors to sort of corrupt the transitions in dungeons or caves or whatever. That's also quite powerful. Come up with a lot of pretty significant skips using door glitches. And WW is wrong warp. The way we wrong warp in this game is by using a door glitch to overwrite the holes hurt player flag in a room. So the hole just like sends you to some pretty interesting destinations. Oh, I'm ready whenever. Like, if Screevo's ready, I'm ready. How are we counting down? Or Screevo can just go whenever. Okay, he's off. The first part of this game is going to proceed pretty normally. At least up until he rescues Zelda. Before you get any deviation from the typical NMG category, which I'm sure if you've watched any A Link to the Past, you're probably familiar with. a bit about the history of this run. It was routed in late 2013, early 2014 by Crystal. And it was originally mainly run by a speedrunner named Jaden, aka Apparently Pants, who was very good at it. He still has the second place time, despite having not run it in years. It's gradually grown in popularity. We got a lot of runners for it now, which is nice. I like it when people get into glitching the game and getting away from NMG, which is what probably 95% of the community's effort goes towards, NMG speedruns. This will be quite a bit more glitchy than NMG. You'll be able to clip out of bounds in this category, which allows us to do things way out of sequence. Uh-oh. That can happen sometimes. The ball and chain guard is actually quite deadly, especially if you go for the best strategy there, which Screevo was trying to do with using 8 slashes. You can take a slightly easier method using the pots in the first cell, because, you know, these clay pots are, for whatever reason, super overpowered in this game. They do more damage than swords. But yeah, the ball and chain guard does a full heart of damage, which is quite a bit early on in the game. You can only take 2 hits from him to survive, and a 3rd hit will kill you. So you definitely have to be careful with him. Screevo is going to opt for the pot strategy second time around. So EG, DG, and WW are essentially the 3 most powerful glitches in this game. This category is essentially broken, but not too broken. So this, these first two sections of the game, Escape and Eastern, which are going to play out pretty normally. There is a small trick you can do on the overworld going to Eastern, but I don't think Screevo's going to do it. It's pretty hard to do, and doesn't save much time. So the first part of this run is just going to play out pretty normally. That said, there's a lot of things, a lot of subtle mechanics to how Link moves in this game. And good runners like Screevo will be trying to make use of all of these techniques. Things like wall pumping and avoiding corner nudges, ways to move on stairs, ways to move through shallow water, and so on. Movement in this game is quite complicated. It might not look that way if you're just casually viewing it, but when you get down to really optimizing it, it's pretty deep. So, interesting thing there, he just saved and quit. Some people don't know that you can save and quit in this game. It's interesting. Interesting little thing there. So coming up is a room with some Stalfos that spawn around you. Normally, 4 Stalfos are supposed to spawn around you, but if you move into the Stalfos spawn trigger in a specific way, like Screevo just did, only 2 will spawn in. And you can kill them before they even spawn in, if you go fast enough, which is what he did as well. Screevo getting a nice magic drop there. Interesting thing, at the end of the dungeon, the game has to refill your magic and hearts. And it actually takes a significant amount of time to do that, or can take a significant amount of time to do that, depending on how much you're missing. So that magic dropping in his way actually saved him about 1/4 of a second. Just because at the end of the dungeon it will take less time for his magic to refill. A very nice room there from Screevo. Coming up, of course, will be the Armos fight, the first boss in the game. The goal for the fight is really just to kill the last Armos and the second to last Armos at nearly the same time. And there are a few different setups to accomplish that. I'm sure Screevo will do top right. It's the preferred setup for most. Uh-oh. We might see a red Armos here. And we do. We get a red Armos sighting. That's okay though. So now he'll be going to talk to Sasrula and get the boots, and then he'll also go into the back of Sasrula's hut to get the 3 bomb chests, which will allow him to do a bomb clip on Death Mountain. Well, I'll talk about that some when we get there. Boots in general are really powerful, mostly for going fast and being able to dash, but also for doing some of the tricks and glitches very quickly. A handful are going to happen right away, really. He's going to save and quit to Sanctuary. He's going to grab the Sanctuary Heart because he's going to want all the health he can get for this segment. It can be kind of trolly on Death Mountain with the boulders and the squirrels. But right away he's going to go do this trick that's called a teleport, where he's going to clip into the wall 1 pixel at a time. He's going to get 8 pixels deep into this sloped wall here, which will activate an upwards teleport that will send him through the top of the screen transition, like so, and then he can get on Death Mountain just like that, without having the power gloves, which you ordinarily need to get on Death Mountain. And then he'll make his way to the old man in reverse. He will get his mirror right here. Uh-oh. I don't think he's blocked here, but he might be. Okay, he's not. Good. Now he's going to go to this particular cave on Death Mountain and do what's called a bomb clip, where he's going to do a setup to place the bomb on a particular spot, so that when he dashes into the explosion, it will boost him into the wall and allow him to get a teleport into a different room. Once again, all the rooms in this game are placed on the same map, and it's kind of arranged in somewhat of a nonsensical fashion. So this random cave on Death Mountain, when you scroll south, you turn up in Palace of Darkness, which is really convenient. This is a really fast way to get into Palace of Darkness, and you get to do some fun stuff like unlock doors without ever having gotten a key. Because has a cave loaded right now, the game doesn't track keys properly in a cave, so he was able to unlock that door. Grabbing some extra arrows. Always important to have arrows, especially in this category. You might be thinking about arrowing Helmasaur to be safe, because Helmasaur is definitely the most nerve-wracking part of this particular run. Doing him on 5 hearts with just the fighter's sword. Right now he'll be going to do a trick we call hammer jump, which is pretty dang tough. He's going to need to place the bomb on a particular Y coordinate, and he's going to need Link to be standing on another Y coordinate when the bomb goes off. And there is no leniency about this. It is pixel perfect twice. See him pause buffering to make sure he's in the right spot. Gets the trick. Nice job. The rest of this will play up normally for the most part. It's a very nice arrow drop there to get from the red mimic. Once again, though, Helmasaur is pretty dang scary. You can only get hit twice, assuming he makes it to the boss with all of his hearts that he has here, which hopefully he will. Very nice boomerang strategy. You love to see that. Very nice turtle room as well. Getting all the turtles in one cycle like that, it can be a little tricky. More tricky than it is in NMG for sure. And now he'll be coming up into the Helmasaur fight. Takes 17 hammer hits to break the mask, and then we'll see what he does after the mask is broken. He can either do 8 arrow shots, or he can go for hammer hits. Looks like he's going for spins, and following that up with some arrow shots. Okay. That was a safe Helmasaur, which is good for a marathon run. If I'm behind, I can refresh, maybe? That'll fix it. So now he's going to go into the Tower of Hera. Right away he's going to do a what we call a spin speed clip, where he's going to execute a spin dash, where he presses dash on the first frame of a spin attack animation, puts him in a glitch state that can allow you to walk through certain corners, which he did there. The game doesn't like you jumping into a screen transition. Nice one, Screevo. He's going to have to go back for the key. The game doesn't normally allow you to jump into a screen transition and typically places boundaries to prevent you from doing so, but if you can jump through one, it wraps you up to the top of the screen. So that's what was happening with that clip. He wrapped up to the top of the screen, which if you're familiar with the Death Mountain screen, at the top is the Tower of Hera, so he was able to just walk right in. Skips quite a bit of movement, and skips warping of the Dark World and then warping back to the Light World. And yeah, the underworld in this game doesn't actually have a world. It's kind of weird how the game handles worlds, but really it only really matters on the overworld. And so if you can find a way to get into a Dark World dungeon from like a Light World dungeon or a Light World cave, it actually will not swap the world you're in. So you will not be a bunny. You can exist as Link. You can actually beat this entire game without getting the Moon Pearl. You can actually get 100% without getting the Moon Pearl. Obviously, with the exception of the Moon Pearl. Fun fact. Doing a little bomb jump over to the Moon Pearl. Despite the fact that I just said we don't technically need the Moon Pearl, it does save a lot of time, so... Oh no. Taking a death there, unfortunately. The enemies in Hera can be really annoying to deal with. The mini Moldorms and those Dodongo enemies. Yeah, there are bomb tricks in this game as well as a lot of the 3D Zeldas. There's also bottle tricks in this game as well as some of the 3D Zeldas. Of course, most notably Ocarina of Time with Reverse Bottle Adventure and Bottle Adventure. In this game, we have Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure, which is a pretty wild glitch. So he just killed Moldorm with the hammer there, which is quite a bit faster than using the fighter sword. Only takes 3 hits versus the 6 it wouldn't ordinarily take with fighter sword. So now he's going to be doing a trick called DMD, which is, or Death Mountain Descent. It's actually pretty easy. He's going to do another spin speed clip here, using particular movement. He can get down off the mountain into the main part of Dark World. That clip's really convenient. Ordinarily, you need either the you need like some sort of lift upgrade along with the hammer to access any of the Dark World warps that are placed sort of in the main part of the overworld. But that warp on Death Mountain requires nothing. You can So being able to descend the mountain is pretty powerful. Very nice arrow drop there. Got the... you can dash up through that room that we call the Hellway there with the conveyors and all the enemies. If you're on a specific pixel, which Screevo had there, but unfortunately the enemies were uncooperative. So he wasn't able to dash all the way up through the room. Screevo making me nervous in that room, but this room has a pretty cool strat in this category. You can't lift that block yet, because he has not gotten any sort of lift upgrade. So you get to throw a bomb to kill the red Stalfos, and then kill the other two with the hammer. It's a fun little strategy. Although ideally you stay away from the map button a little more than Screevo did. So now he'll be going up to fight blind. Oh no. I forgot Screevo was going to do this. He actually even told me beforehand. If you use the mirror just as you're activating the blind fight, the mirror's pixelization sort of... this... whatever this screen effect is called, kind of gets stuck. He's just doing it as a fun little glitch. Fun for some people, at least. Other people don't find it very fun and think it gives them a headache. This is a really bad one too. Like, it depending on when exactly you use the mirror, you get varying degrees of crappiness. This one's pretty crappy. It's very blocky and awful. It will fix itself when he enters Skullwoods. the mosaic transition effect that plays when you enter Skullwoods will repair the graphics, thankfully. Gets to combo, grabbing the frog with getting the book. The book is necessary to get the Ether Medallion, which is necessary to enter Misery Mire. God, these graphics are so bad. There's also another really fun effect you can get during the blind fight if you hit select as soon as it starts. The color palette gets really messed up. Thankfully, this will be fixed in a few short moments. Yeah. Skullwoods fixed it, thankfully. This dungeon's gonna proceed as it normally does in an MG, really. You kind of had to be careful. You really don't want to be taking that damage Screevo just took. You don't have much health. He has less than he's used to in an MG, at least. So, opted to pull out the boomerang to stun those mummies. Gonna be doing another bomb jump here to get to the fire rod. It's a little bit quicker than the intended way of getting there. It's also gonna mirror to save some health. There's a faster strat you can do there with falling in the pit to take damage, which will void you back to the entrance. It's faster than using the menu to get to the mirror. But of course you take that heart of damage, which he wanted to keep that heart. So coming up will be the Mafia Fight, which is pretty tough stuff for a lot of players, myself included sometimes, even though I made the tutorial on how to fight the boss. See if Screevo has a good one. Not bad. So after this, we're going to go on a bit of a collection spree. We're going to go to Death Mountain and collect Ether, and then collect Flippers. And the way those two are combined is pretty interesting. You might think to yourself, oh, well, Ether is in a completely separate portion of the map from Zora's Waterfall. But using glitches, we can do some crazy stuff. So he's going to do that same trick to get up to Hera that he did earlier in the run, right here. Skips having to climb Death Mountain normally and do all the warping between worlds. He's got his Ether Medallion. Now he's going to make his way over to the Flippers. Hopefully he didn't get blocked here. Okay, he didn't. It's really frustrating to get blocked by the dead rocks, which can easily happen, unfortunately. It's one of the more infuriating aspects of speedrunning this game. And he's being very careful with these two. Yeah, it's really easy to get blocked by those two, so... Gonna do another little spin speed clip here. And now he's at Zora's Waterfall. The game is kind of unprepared to load the proper palette coming from Death Mountain, so that's why the graphics are a little messed up. I guess it doesn't have that dark blue color that they use in the borders between the shallow and deep water loaded properly, so you get these fun graphics. So here he'll probably be doing one of the newer tricks in this run. It's literally only like 2 weeks old. It's a little bomb clip right after taking this warp. We'll see if he gets it. Hopefully he does. It's a pretty fun trick. Oh. Had to be... That bomber enemy was making me mighty nervous, but he did get the trick, so... He's going to be doing another teleport here to get up on this ledge, which allows him to get into the Mire area. No flute, no problems. So with Desert done this way, you can kind of completely break it open compared to what you would do in an MG. He's going to be able to go and get Big Key and then mirror back to that that other entrance. Really speeds up the process. An additional benefit of coming to this dungeon at this point in time is he has the fire rod, which will allow him to do this torch room coming up quicker than he'd be able to with the lamp, and will also allow him to kill landmollas very quickly, ideally in one cycle. So yeah, I got the torch room strat. Here comes Landmo. Unfortunately, I got a really bad pattern off that first swarm. Kind of sucks. Not much you can do about it. Just accept your 2-second time loss. So from here, he'll be able to go straight into Misery Mire. This is definitely the craziest segment in this run. It's also really hard to do fast. So hopefully Screevo has a good one. That room's always good fun. It's kind of tricky to kill all the Wizrobes in one cycle, like Screevo just did there. Harry's gonna get both keys, and you'll see why a little bit later. He actually didn't need to hit the switch in that room, but that's a strong NMG muscle memory from him. Luckily, he didn't grab that magic, which is also something NMG would do. So he's gonna go get Mire Big Key, and then the magic will happen. So he's got Mire Big Key, and he's going to make his way back to the Mire Torches rooms, where he's going to be able to do a really fun trick. Ooh. Okay. The slugs in that room are quite scary. They do 4 hearts of damage. So he's going to do another bomb clip. Using that setup with the bonk off the wall. And suddenly he's in Tower of Hera. Coming back into this room. Gonna do another bomb clip here. Hopefully. Yep, got it. Very good. And this is why you got that extra key, is to get out of this room here. And from here, he'll be able to go get Hookshot. Since he never has technically left Mire, according to the game, anyway, he never exited to the overworld. He still has Mire's big key, so it allows him to open the big chest. And also, when he uses the mirror, it just sends him right back to the entrance of Mire. So that's a pretty huge sequence break there. Later, when he does Swamp, he actually won't need to get Swamp's big key. Swamp only requires the big key for the purpose of getting the hook shot, but he already has the hook shot, so he'll be able to make quick work of Swamp when he finally does enter it. He can't take the normal route to get downstairs in this category. Since he mirrored back to the entrance, the blue pegs are up, so he would be blocked in the room directly after the big chest, so he has to go this route. In case you're wondering why he would be doing this when it seems like really out of the way. You can still do Spooky Glitch to skip this room that he's in right now, hitting that switch. You can still do it in this category, it's just quite a bit harder. And Screevo told me before this run that he's not completely comfortable with it, so... that's why he chose not to do it. Very good Vitreous fight. Holy heck. That was Craigasm right there. So from here, he'll be headed to Swamp. It's going to do a trick on the overworld that saves about 15 seconds, if you can do it well. Where you can just clip right over to Swamp at the sledge. This is a tough clip, though, because you've got the enemy over there trying to shoot you with a fireball while you're clipping. But Screevo got it. No problem. Unfortunately, that was just some RNG there where you got hit by the Ropa. Kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. So now he'll be able to do Swamp very quickly. If you're familiar with Randomizer, this will basically be like Go mode Swamp. the dangerous waters by mentioning randomizer, but yeah. There should be a chat command right now for EGDG and WW. It feels weird to say WW, actually. I've just noticed that. Like, as an acronym, it's basically only useful typed. It's so much easier to say wrong warp. So here he's got Argus, which is a pretty simple boss, unless you go for the 0 cycle kill, which he's not going for. But he got him. Just gonna do 2 spins to finish him off. So from here, he's going to go into Ice Palace. Now, I'm curious what he's going to do here. There's a mirror wrap trick you can do when you leave the dungeon. I should have asked him what he was going to do, actually. But the mirror wrap saves roughly 10 seconds, but is really risky. Like, you can potentially soft lock the run if you make a mistake. So we'll see what he decides to go with. And he's just gonna go with the safe strategy. Don't blame it at all for being in a marathon run. Just going with the safe route. Just gonna run over to ice normally. So here he's going to be doing another bomb clip. Just needs to get the right pixel alignment. Should have it here. Yeah. It clips him quite a bit into the dungeon, skipping a good bit of the first part. Especially skipping that like cross section with the block pushing is pretty nice. Of course, you got Ice Palace Bomb Jump coming up right here to get through this room with the orange pegs up. Skips pretty much the entire puzzle in the back half of this dungeon, as well as skips needing the big key at all. Screevo is at a bad bomb count here. He will need a bomb to be able to enter Turtle Rock. Also, hopefully he knows how to clip in the Ice Rod Cave, because if he doesn't know how to do that, then he needs 2 bombs. One to get in the Ice Rod Cave, one to get into Turtle Rock. Uh-oh. If he gets hit here, he's dead from this cold stare. That made me a little nervous. But he got out. Got out alive. Yeah, the strategy Screevo did in the room before Cold Stare is faster if you don't need both magic pots. Very slightly faster. I also think it's easier to do quickly. There's less room for error and nudging things and poor movement. The ceiling ice is completely random, yes. It will either split cardinally or diagonally, and there's no controlling it. Runners typically have a specific movement through the fight to where they don't get hit no matter what. You know, whether it breaks cardinally or diagonally, they're safe from it. So now he'll be swimming over to Ice Rod, where he will, judging from what he said in chat, he will try to farm a bomb from a rock on this next screen. There's a 50% chance it drops, so hopefully he gets it early. We'll just have to reset this. Okay, he gets it first try. And he's gonna go for the clip, which is nice. It's like he was pixel low there. There, you got it. That's just an upwards teleport to bypass the bomb wall. So now he'll be doing a clip to get up on this ledge to the right in the Dark World. This will allow him to do a mirror wrap to get into the lower Turtle Rock entrance. This is a pretty wild trick. And he has it. So what he did there was use Mire on the same frame that he transitioned. And that puts you in this really odd state where you can scroll the screen further than you should be able to. So now he's going to do Turtle Rock backwards all the way to the big key. And then when he gets the big key, he'll be able to mirror back to that laser bridge entrance and go straight to Trinex. It's a really fast route through the dungeon. You'll need to be really careful in these Poke Rooms, though. They are still quite deadly. It looks like he's going to use the Fire Rod. Oh. That was an interesting strategy. Alright, so Mire back, and we're on our way to Trinex. Trinex is a pretty simple boss. It's like Screevo set up for a really good kill, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. So when he leaves this dungeon, he will be forced to save and quit. Well, he's not actually forced to save and quit, but that's what's fastest to do. Since he never opened Turtle Rock with the Quake Medallion, he's just kind of stuck in a wall. So the fastest way to get to Ganon's Tower from here is to save and quit to Death Mountain and then do some clips to get into Ganon's Tower. He will also probably talk to the old man. Or no, he's not going to. Maybe I shouldn't be that surprised by that. Screevo is an experienced any percent NoEG runner, where they have to do Ganon's Tower on really low hearts. Much lower than this. So maybe he's just really comfortable with it. But here he's going to do this clip from the bottom here. Bottom of Death Mountain. That will wrap him up near Ganon's Tower. Gets inside, and he's on his way. That 10 arrow chest was really important to get with 30 arrows. Screevo, of course, very used to 80% NoEG Ganon's tower. I'm guessing he just muscle memoried that. So here he'll probably not want to do the fast, what we call Michael Jackson room, which is this room right upstairs with the mimics and all the spikes. And yeah, gonna do a slower, safer strat. The fast strategy in that room costs 3 hearts, so it would leave you in a pretty tight spot. Uh-oh. Okay. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. That room can just go horribly wrong sometimes, if you make a mistake, so it's good on him to recover it, not take a ton of damage or anything. Hopefully he can get his revenge on Lynn Mullis here. Oh no, he gets the short hop again. That's unfortunate. Still an early 2 cycle, not the worst outcome. Screevo's having a very solid Ganon's tower here. Hasn't taken much damage at all. Really, the only rough room was that Mimics 2 that he lost a few seconds in. Oh, and he's going for the hover. Oh no, he fell. Damn. That hover does save a few seconds over actually fighting Moldorm and waiting for the chest to appear to hook shot over to it. He does get it second try, which is nice. Now he'll be fighting Aghanim 2. Unfortunate blue ball there. He's gonna have to take a 4 cycle. Seems like. Yeah. So now he's actually not going to go fight Ganon. There's still one more dungeon left that we haven't done, and that would be Aghanim's Tower. So he's going to mirror here, and conveniently he's right here. This dungeon is wildly different with Tempered Sword. So, coming up, of course, is Aghanim 1. Unfortunately, probably the worst thing about this category is it has to fight this boss right at the end, and you can kind of end your run. You could have a great run up to this point, and he just gives you really awful RNG, and you lose it. Compared to an NMG run, which fights in roughly 30 minutes in. But yeah, if you check either of those highlights, you will see Screevo get the maximum number of blue balls at 15, which he has somehow gotten twice. 15 blue balls is incredibly rare. I think actually maybe only Screevo has gotten it, like, in a captured run. Looks like he got 2 blue balls there, I think. I wasn't exactly counting the full way through, but that's what it felt like. Two blue balls is pretty good luck. Now he'll proceed to go fight Ganon. We'll see how he plays it. To Typically in NMG, you get to enter Ganon with hook shot equipped, which is pretty nice because you get to make use of hook shot invulnerability. But here it would waste time to equip the hook shot. So we'll see if he makes use of the setups that don't use hook shot invulnerability. My guess is he will, just because he's a very seasoned any percent NoEG runner. And yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's going for. Very good. Very good stuff. Gonna hit Ganon one more time here. It's gonna try and get the torch glitch. Oh no, he missed it. Unfortunately, that was a pretty bad situation to be in. He kind of needed Ganon, or to like bait that fire bat differently so that it wouldn't be blocking him from the torch like it was. So now he's gonna have to light both torches and fight Ganon this way, which is a little bit slower. Still very doable though. Oh no, accidental blue Ganon. When you're used to fighting Ganon with the torch glitch, it's very awkward fighting him without it. It's kind of a completely different timing. It's kind of odd to get used to if you haven't practiced it much. Oh, almost took a fall there. Oh, I was worried as heck. Interesting switching of the fire rod here. Okay, he knows what he was doing. He was counting. Now he will enter the Triforce room and finish the run like 1:20:09. I think was the final time. GG to Screevo. I know Screevo probably feels bad about some of the early mistakes, like the ball and chain death, but parts of that run were actually really good, in my opinion. Parts of it were quite entertaining. I was entertained. Yeah, really all of the Mire stuff was really solid. I thought Mire went really well. So yeah, that was A Link to the Past All Dungeons. I actually don't have the schedule up to know what's coming up next. What we can expect. Oh, okay. Zelmus will be the one to inform us what we've got going on.
Thank you very much, Josh and Screevo, for the commentary and run. If you enjoyed the commentary or the run, make sure to give the runner and commentator a follow. You're watching SNES Superstars Marathon right now. Our next run will be SMRPG, but at this time there is a little bit of technical difficulties, so there will be a bit of a pause here. So yes, just letting you guys know that for now.
Thanks for having me and Screevo on. It was a fun time. And thanks, chat, for all of your questions and hanging out and being engaged in the run. It was a pleasure.